Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news. Alright, folks, the NFL is heating up, and the San Francisco 49ers are definitely in the spotlight as they gear up for what promises to be another exciting season. Training camp is just around the corner, and there's a lot to discuss. Some injury updates, new signings, player statuses, and what it all could mean for the Niners' chances of making another deep playoff run. And trust me, this isn't just about keeping an eye on injuries. It's about understanding how these moves and updates could shape the team's trajectory in 2024. So, let's dive right into the latest developments that are making waves in the 49ers camp. First off, one of the biggest stories right now revolves around the signing of Equanimeous St.Brown. The 49ers announced they've officially signed him after a tryout held just this Monday. Now, St.Brown isn't a new face to the league. He's been around for about 6 years. His most recent stint was with the New Orleans Saints in 2024, where he appeared in 2 games but didn't record any stats. But what's really interesting about this signing isn't just the player's experience, but the context behind it. The 49ers were actually one of 6 teams that brought him in for a workout. And as we all know, in a league where depth at wide receiver can make or break a season, adding someone like Equinimeus could be a strategic move. He's got height, speed, and experience, and with the Niners looking to bolster their receiver core, this signing signals that they're serious about covering all bases. Now, a fun fact that fans might not be aware of. Equinimeus is actually the older brother of Amon-Ra St. Brown, the star receiver for the Detroit Lions. This sibling rivalry adds an extra layer of intrigue, especially considering how well Amon-Ra has been performing in recent years. It's a reminder of how talented this family is, and it'll be interesting to see how Equanimeous fits into the 49ers system and what kind of role he could play as the season progresses. But it's not just about the signing, it's also about the context of injuries. The 49ers have been dealing with some notable setbacks, particularly regarding their wide receiver depth. Ricky Pearsall, for instance, will be starting training camp on the active PUP list. That means he won't be participating in at least the first few days of practice, as he's recovering from a tweaked hamstring. But don't worry, General Manager John Lynch was quick to reassure fans that Pearsall is expected to return early in camp. That's good news because Pearsall has shown promise in his limited action last season, and his speed and playmaking ability could be crucial for the team's passing attack. The Niners are counting on him to step up, especially considering the depth issues at wide receiver. So, while he's starting camp on the sidelines, the expectation is that he'll be back soon enough to make an impact. And speaking of returning players, Lynch also expressed optimism about John Jennings, who is set to report for camp on Wednesday. Jennings has been a steady presence in the 49ers offense, and Kyle Shanahan has made it clear that he expects Jennings to be out there, ready to contribute. Interestingly, Lynch clarified that Jennings has not requested a trade, dispelling some rumors that have been floating around. It's always good to hear that stability and trust are still present within the team's locker room, especially with a player as reliable as Jennings. His versatility and familiarity with the offense make him an essential part of the roster, and Shanahan's confidence in him is a positive sign for 49ers fans. Now, let's talk about Brandon Ayuk, because his situation has been a bit more uncertain. The team is encouraged by the progress he's made in his recovery, but Lynch was careful to say that there's no concrete timeline for his return yet. We all know how important Ayuk is to the team's passing game. His ability to stretch the field and create big plays is vital. The 49ers need him at full strength, but they're also being cautious to ensure he's completely ready before throwing him into the fray. It's a balancing act, and Lynch's words reflect the careful approach the team is taking. On the veteran front, Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams are both reported to be present and healthy. That's a huge boost for the team's offensive line and overall offensive scheme. Shanahan emphasized that these key players will have their workloads managed throughout camp, which is standard procedure for veterans in the NFL. It's not surprising that the team is taking precautions, especially with players like McCaffrey, who is the engine of the offense, and Williams, who anchors the line. Managing their reps ensures they're fresh for the season's critical moments. But it's not all smooth sailing. Left guard Ben Bartch suffered a quad injury while working out away from the team's facilities. It's a reminder of how unpredictable injuries can be, even in the offseason. Yet, Lynch was optimistic about his recovery, stating that Bartch could be cleared soon and return to practice relatively early. That's encouraging because depth along the offensive line is crucial, especially with the physical style of play the 49ers are known for. Having reliable backups and injury management is essential for maintaining consistency on offense. Now, looking at the bigger picture, this entire situation underscores how the 49ers are approaching training camp, carefully, with a focus on health, depth, and readiness. The team's coaching staff, led by Kyle Shanahan, has always been known for their meticulous planning and tactical flexibility. They're not rushing players back from injury. Instead, they're making sure everyone is 100% before unleashing them into the season's battles. This cautious approach might mean some players miss the initial days of camp, but it pays off in terms of durability and performance when it truly matters. The addition of Equinimeous St.Brown, the recovery of key players like Pearsall, Jennings, and Ayuk, and the management of veteran workloads all point to a team that's both optimistic and strategic about their outlook for 2024. The NFC West remains fiercely competitive, with teams like the Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals all eyeing their own paths to glory. But the 49ers, with their solid roster, strategic signings, and disciplined approach, are positioning themselves as serious contenders once again. Their depth at wide receiver, combined with the star power on offense and defense, makes them one of the most balanced teams in the league. It's also worth noting that the 49ers, front office and coaching staff have been very clear about their goals. The ultimate aim is to build a team that can handle the grind of the NFL season, especially in the playoffs where injuries and fatigue can derail even the most talented squads. That's why managing the health of players like Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams is so important. Their leadership and production are critical, and keeping them healthy for the postseason is a top priority. In terms of the defense, the 49ers are still boasting one of the league's most formidable units. Nick Bosa continues to be a dominant force on the line, and Fred Warner anchors the linebacker core with his instincts and leadership. The defensive line and secondary remain strong, and with the team's overall strategy, they're looking to cause chaos and create turnovers that can swing games in their favor. The depth at linebacker and along the defensive line is something to watch, especially as camp begins, because it will influence how well the team can rotate players and stay fresh throughout the season. Looking ahead, fans should keep an eye on how the team manages the integration of new additions like Equanimeous St.Brown. Will he carve out a significant role? Will he develop chemistry quickly with the quarterback, presumably Brock Purdy, who has shown incredible promise and is expected to be the starter again this season? These are questions that will unfold as camp progresses and we get closer to the season opener. Moreover, the 49ers coaching staff isn't just focused on the present. They're already thinking about the bigger picture, playoff seeding, matchups, and how to keep their core players healthy and sharp. The NFC West remains a tough division, with teams constantly upgrading and trying to dethrone the reigning kings of the NFC. But with the current roster, the strategic signings, and the disciplined approach to overcoming injuries, San Francisco is positioning itself to be a dominant force once again. As the season approaches, expect to see a lot of buzz around the 49ers, practice sessions, preseason games, and the subtle shifts in their roster. Every snap, every injury update, and every strategic move counts. The team's ability to adapt and overcome adversity will be tested, but if history is any indicator, Kyle Shanahan and his staff know how to get the best out of their players and build a winning culture. And of course, the fan base remains as passionate as ever. This team isn't just about football. It's a community, a family that lives and breathes every game, every play, every victory, and even every setback. The optimism for a deep playoff run is alive and well, but fans also understand that resilience, preparation, and health are the keys to sustained success. So, as training camp begins and new players like Equinimeous St.Brown start to get integrated into the system, the excitement is contagious. The 49ers are not just building for 2024, they're building a legacy, and every step they take this offseason is a piece of that puzzle. In the end, what we're witnessing right now is a team that's focused, disciplined, and hungry for more. They've tasted success, and they want to taste it again with even more determination. The coming weeks will reveal how well they can overcome their injuries, how quickly new players can gel with the existing core, and whether their veteran leaders can inspire the next chapter of greatness. For San Francisco 49ers fans, this is what football is all about: the thrill of anticipation, the hope of victory, and the unwavering belief that this team, with all its potential and resilience, can make another run at the Super Bowl. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news.